The next topic is sampling methods. I think you know what is sampling. So we'll have a superset or a collection of objects under study which is called population. We are going to draw a small sample subset of this which is called sampling. So we are going to select a small subset of the population which is called sample. The way of drawing this sample or the method of drawing a sample from population is called sampling. Okay, we have a population under study. If you want to draw the conclusions about the population, you know that you are going to go instead of complete enumeration, you are opting sampling. What do you mean by sampling? Sampling is nothing but the method of drawing a required sample from a population is called sampling. Now let us see what are the different types of sampling techniques available to us. Basically we have three types of sampling techniques depending upon the type of inquiry or the type of the data we are going to collect. Okay, again I repeat, depending upon the nature of the data which we are going to collect, or the nature of the inquiry, the type of the inquiry is going to basing on these two, we are going to classify the sampling techniques into or the sampling techniques or the sampling methods into three categories called judgment sampling, this is also called purposive sampling, second one is nothing but probability sampling techniques, and third one is nothing but mixed sampling. So the way of drawing a sample from a population is called sampling. Depending upon the nature of the data and the nature of the inquiry, the sampling techniques are broadly at the first stage they are classified into three types. Those are nothing but judgment sampling, which is also called purposive sampling, probability sampling, and mixed sampling. Let us see what is judgment sampling is. Judgment sampling or purposive sampling, name itself indicates what is the sampling means. You know the way of drawing a sample is called from a population is called sampling. Let us see what is judgment. Judgment means here you know two words called investigator. Who is investigator? The one who collects the data is called investigator. The one who is the main head of the survey is called the judge or judge. Now depending upon the judge under judgment sampling, the data to be collected mainly depends upon the partiality of this judge or investigator. I'll give you an example. Under judgment sampling, as the name itself suggests that the sample to be collected mainly depends upon the choice of the or the opinion of the judge or the investigator, not on the nature of the data. Now so under judgment sampling, the nature of the data or the how many units are to be collected, what are the units are to be collected mainly depends upon the opinion of the judge or investigator. I'll give you an example. Suppose that if the purpose of the study is nothing but to know the standards of living. The purpose of the study is nothing but standards of living in any metropolitan city. Let us take as Delhi. Here the objective is nothing but objective of the survey is nothing but to find the standards of living in Delhi. If we are going to you should collect a sample from the city called Delhi. If you want to collect the sample, if you are using the judgment sampling or under judgment sampling, the units or the households, you should conduct the household survey. For that, if the investigator is interested, instead of I think the standards means you'll have a low income people, middle people, and also you'll have the high income people. So he should visit all the three categories of the households. But if the investigator is not interested to visit the low income areas, households, then he may go to only these high income areas to get good information. Or if he is interested only to concentrate on the middle class people, middle class household survey, he may interest on that only. Means if he perform in such way, I think here what is the objective here? To obtain the standards of living in Delhi. If you are using the judgment sample, the investigator may only concentrate on any of these three classes, which is going to give. If you only concentrate on low income people, then what will be the conclusion of this survey? The average standards of Delhi are less than the given figure. If we only choose, if we only collects the information for middle income groups, then he will get somewhat different results. If you only consider the high income people, he is going to get the average standards of living in Delhi is good. Here he will get he is bad, it is average, and it is good. Means under the judgment sampling, he is not going to consider all the parts of this classes of the society. He is going to consider depending upon the interest. He may only look on low, he may only look on the middle class people, or he may look on only high income people according to his convenience. If the opinion of the judge or the investigator plays a great role in the sampling technique, the results are not going to be good results, and this may mislead the conclusions or the objective of the survey. Got it, girls? Under we have the first sampling as judgment. Means why we are studying means this is like history, where we have the first case is nothing but judgment, where it has many drawbacks. Then we will go to the second one. Under judgment or purposive sampling, the selection of particular units into the sample mainly depends upon the choice of the investigator or his interest or his opinion on the of the investigator. Those sampling methods doesn't give you a good results. They may mislead the objective of the survey. So this is a very rarely used method. Nowadays no one are using this method to collect a sample. But whenever the investigator or the judge is very much a skilled person, then we can opt this method. So this judgment sampling has many drawbacks and very few advantages. What is the advantage means? If the judge or if the investigator of the survey is well skilled person, then we can choose this one. Otherwise, in many of the cases, this sampling doesn't give the good results, or it may mislead the objective of the survey. So what is the second one? We have probability sampling. So under probability sampling, name itself tells. What do you mean by means that is non-scientific method. The sampling or the judgment sampling is nothing but a non-scientific method, where we are not using any mathematical or scientific procedures there. So it has many drawbacks. To overcome the drawbacks in that sampling techniques, we are going to the next one is the next sampling technique we have in the list is nothing but probability sampling. So under probability sampling, so we are going to use the techniques of probability in selecting the sample from the population. You are given a population, so which units are to be selected means in the previous one judgment sampling, the investigator plays a great role there, but as it has many drawbacks, under probability sampling, if a particular unit is to be included in the population means it should be attached with some probability, means we are using some probability laws to include this sample into the population. Suppose that you are given 1000 population, the size of the population is 1000, and you want to choose a sample of size 25. Now what is the which units you have numbered from? First unit is labeled as 1, so on. You have 1000 units are listed in the population. You want to actually select only 25 units in the population. So which units you are going to select means, under this method, each unit, the first unit is assigned with some probability. Probability is nothing but chance. First unit is given certain chance to be included in into the population. Similarly, second unit is given another probability, and so on. All the units are assigned some chance being included into the sample. So again, under probability sampling means, for a unit you have let us say that 39th unit is there. What is its probability to be included in the sample means, it will be assigned some probability. So under probability sampling, where all the first case is nothing but all the units are in the probability are given equal chance to be included into the population, or they are given the unequal probabilities. I'll give you one example for this. This is not in your notebook, but your better understanding I am giving this example. Suppose that your class strength is 40. Okay, now to get some opinion regarding some examinations or anything, I want to consider any 5 members from your class. Okay, and I want to collect the opinion out of these 40 units. I am going to conduct a survey on these 40 students regarding conducting a cultural activity. So if it is a judgment sampling, that depends exclusively on my opinion, that I am going to select according to my priority. I am going to select the number of students. 5 students are exclusively on my opinion or my interest, which gives a bad results or which doesn't serve the purpose. Then I am going to the probability sampling. So what I am saying, under probability sampling, let us say this is the first student up to 40 students. So who are the 5 students to be in, this is population, am I right? This is the population. I want to collect a sample of size 5. So which 5 students are to be included in my sample? Which 5 students? Who are the 5 students to be included into the sample to draw the conclusions? So under this probability sampling, we have 2 techniques. What are those? According to the all the students are given equal probability, means you have 40 units. Okay, 40 students are there. Equal means you will get 1 by 40, 1 by 40, so on, 1 by 40. What is total probability? Always 1. If we add all these probabilities, which is going to be 1, means whenever we have 40 units, if it is equal chance, means this has 1 by 40 being included, means 1 by 40 means you can calculate in percentages. This much of percentage it has chance of being included into the sample. So here where we are assigning equal probabilities according to the equal probabilities to be included into the sample, means I can select any 5 units, all are given equal priority, that no one are given much or less priority. This is probability sample. Unequal means depending upon, that is another case where I will discuss in the end of the first unit for unequal one. This is the equal probability one. The next one is nothing but third one, mixed probability, mixed sampling techniques. So as the name itself tells that partially we are going to use the probability sampling, partially we are going to use the judgment sampling. So whenever we use both the techniques, we call those as mixed sampling techniques. Now let us see what are the different types of sampling techniques or the sampling methods we have in our in general. What are the different techniques? Means you have simple random sampling, simple random sampling technique, which is also called as SRS, simple random sampling. Second one is nothing but stratified random sampling, which we call as STRS. Third one is nothing but systematic random sampling. Cluster sampling. area sampling, quasi sampling, multi-stage or multi-stage cluster sampling, and quota sampling. These are the different techniques available to us to select a required sample from a population. What are those? Simple random sampling, which is called as SRS, stratified random sampling, STRS, systematic random sampling, SRS, cluster random sampling, area sampling, quasi sampling, quota sampling. All those are comes under probability sampling. So again I'll repeat this one before going to the new topic. So what do you mean by sampling? The way of selecting a required sample from a population is called sampling. So what are the different types of sampling techniques? Majorly we have judgment sampling, probability sampling, mixed sampling. What do you mean by judgment sampling? There, the inclusion or the selection of particular units into the sample mainly depends upon the choice or the convenience of the judge or the investigator. The one who collects the data are called the judgment, is called the judge. And here the which units are to be included into the sample mainly depends upon the opinion or the choice of the judge, where we are going to get average results, that we are not going to get the perfect results, and moreover this is not the scientific way of collecting the sample. So to overcome the disadvantages here, what only advantage here we have is nothing but whenever the judge is very skilled person, we can go for this technique. In majority cases this judgment technique sampling is going to fail. The next one is nothing but probability sampling. Name itself tells that while selecting sampling we are going to use the some new concept called probability. You know what do you mean by probability? Probability is nothing but the chance. Now under probability sampling, let us say each unit in the population is given some probability, means some chance to be included into the sample. Those may be equal chance to be included or unequal chance may be included to it. And the third one is nothing but mixed sampling, where we are going to use the partially according to the some laws of probability and partially according to the subjective or judgment or purposive sampling. So these are the three categories. So I said you that this is most widely used. Under this probability sampling we have these list of sampling techniques: SRS, STRS, SYRS, cluster, area, quasi, quota. Coming to our syllabus in degree final year and 5th semester, you have only these three techniques to be discussed in the first 2 units of your syllabus: simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic sampling. Okay, now I'll tell you how to select. Now we have decided that you have discussed that what are the different sampling techniques you have. So the best example or the same example which I am repeating is nothing but your class. You cannot write the same one. For your understanding purpose I am taking the simple example. Your class strength is 40. Okay, now I want to select 5 students with respect to a particular survey. Now under probability sampling you are telling that each and every unit has equal and independent chance being included. Means you may select first unit or you may select second one. There is no partiality or there is no bias in selecting the sample. So out of these 40 units, how to pick 5 students from them, or how to pick a sample from the population. Means again we are going to use 2 methods called lottery method and random numbers method. All these are nothing but short answers. Random numbers method. Let us see what is a lottery method. I think this is a very simple one. whenever you have 40 units are there, okay, I am telling that there is no, we are going to use probability sampling. What do you mean by probability sampling? Under equal, all the units have equal chance being included into it. I want to choose 5 students, then name itself tells. I think you are well aware of this lottery method. Let us take 40 homogeneous paper slips or tokens. Okay, they should be homogeneous in color, size and shape. Make 40 strips of equal sizes and write the numbers 1 to 40 on them. Okay, fold them in uniform manner and shuffle them. Okay, after shuffling them, depending upon your sample size, if you are going to, you have 40 students, number 1 is 1 indicates roll number 1, 2 indicates roll number 2, so on roll number 40. If I want to choose 5 students, then make 40, depending on what is the population size here, this is population and sample is this. Out of these 40 units, you make 40 homogeneous paper slips. By writing the roll numbers on each of these steps, they should be as homogeneous in shape, color and all. And shuffle them and pick up one slip from them and take out the number. If it is roll numbers, if it is numbered 16, then roll number 16 is to be included into the sample. So this is going to be the first sample here. Now, here you have two methods, those are nothing but with replacement and without replacement. So, under with replacement, if I replace this 16 into this one, you can select another one. You'll take out another strip. You'll let it be 7. Then roll number 7 is to be included into the sample. And you continue till you'll get 24 units from the 5 units from them. With replacement. Under without replacement, so if 16 is selected, for the next draw, we call those as draw. In the first draw you have 40 units. If it is with replacement means I have selected 16. Again I will replace this token into this 40 units. For the second draw also I am going to get only 40. I will select another unit. Again I will replace that. I will repeat that for 5 draws till I will get 5 units into my sample. If it is without replacement, so I will take out, if 16 is selected, I am not going to replace this into the sample, into the population. So first draw it has 40 slips. In the second draw, if this is not replaced, I am going to get 39. In the third draw, I am going to get 38. Like that. The procedure is same. I am going to pick up a slip from that. I am going to note down the number and the corresponding student is going to be included into my sample to draw the conclusion. This is called the lottery method. So, this lottery method has some advantages again, disadvantages. Listen girls, here onwards you are going to discuss each and every method. Each method has its own advantages and disadvantages. You should remember the concept of the actual method, its advantages, disadvantages. You'll get, whenever you are asked, you'll be asked the question like this: how do you select a sample according to the lottery method? Write its advantages and disadvantages. Means just not listening. You should read and you should write, represent the same in the examination also. So what are the advantages here? It is very easy. I think no scientific technique is there. Without without much knowledge also, a layman also can do the work. But what is the disadvantages of this? Whenever you have, here the population is 40, small. Whenever you are given 1000 as the population size, if the population size is large, can you make homogeneous slips? Can you repeat if the sample size is 30? And you are given the population size is 10,000. Can you make those many homogeneous slips? And do you have, I think there is a chance that whenever the population size is going to increase, you are going to get because of lack of patience, you are going to get some biased results there, and means lottery method is suitable whenever the population size and the corresponding sample size are small. Whenever they are relatively large, we cannot opt this one. So the second method we have is nothing but random numbers method. What are these random numbers method? Whatever the surveys are going on, they are using this method only, not this one. This is very rarely used. This is also used whenever if you want to go for scientific approach, we are using this random numbers method. What are these random numbers method? The random numbers is nothing but it is a book. You'll have a book where in the first page you will have single digit numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 9. In the second page you will have double digit 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 till 99. In the third page you will have triple digit, 4 digit, 5 digit, 6 digit, up to you will have 6 digit pages. Now all these are given numbered. Whenever the population is given, they are numbered. Like the first unit is numbered with 1. Okay, 0, 1. Second one is 0, 2, 0, 3. If you have 10,000 units, right, 10,000 you are going to use here like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0, 0, 2. Now if you want to choose a sample of 40 from these 10,000 units, you are going to refer the any to 6 digit page. You can select some numbers from the 6 digit 6th page, which consists of the 6 digits. You can go for 5th page for few units, which consists of 5 digit numbers, like that. Means here there is no strain of doing the uniform slips. There itself a printed book will be there, random tiplets, we call that as tiplets. The one who tiplets random numbers table, where the numbers are arranged at random. You will pick up any number from this page. It's up to you. Okay, this number, this, if this is the corresponding unit will be introduced into the sample. You will turn the page. You will select the number. You should check the number here. The corresponding unit will be selected into the sample. So it is purely random in number, random in nature, as the name itself tells that, random. We are not going to assign any logic here. Randomly the sample may change from person to person. I said you in the second year you will have RAND. If you take out your calculator, you will have in the last one after decimal this key, you will have RAND hash. You will have one key which indicates the random numbers. You have generation of random numbers in the third semester, where I said you that is exclusively random. No one are getting to get same results. Means the selection of random numbers is using this triplets random number is very well used one, where the selection of selection of sample is done depending upon the number selected from the particular page. Okay, thank you.